Suck at JaRule on the
Oh,
plane.
man.
This clip right here just sparked one of the biggest controversies in the rap world. 50 Cent, who initially thought the scuffle that happened between JaRule and Tony Yayo and Uncle Murda was funny, just released a statement. And what 50 Cent said after seeing this footage suggests this beef might only end one way. Total explosion. Things were about to hit the fan on a Delta flight from San Francisco International Airport to John F. Kennedy International Airport when JaRule, the multi-platinum rapper who once dominated early 2000s hip-hop charts, found himself seated directly in front of Tony Yayo and Uncle Murda, two loyal soldiers from 50 Cent's G-Unit crew. According to Tony Yayo's detailed account on Vlad TV, they knew JaRule would be on the flight beforehand through information received at the airport, giving them time to mentally prepare for the encounter.
It was like JaRule's gonna be on our flight. So now I'm telling, I told Murda, I told Trash, I was like, yo, JaRule gonna be on a flight. We not ducking no smoke. I'm not missing a flight home for any.
The confrontation began the moment JaRule boarded. As he struggled to store his luggage in the overhead compartments, traveling alone without his usual entourage, Uncle Murda began filming and taunting him, calling him a sucker deliberately loud enough for everyone in first class to hear. JaRule, recognizing his longtime enemies seated behind him, turned around and fired back with his own insults, calling them old-ass polices. The verbal sparring escalated rapidly as passengers watched in stunned disbelief. What happened next shocked everyone on board. JaRule stood up in the aisle, visibly agitated, repeatedly challenging them to fight with phrases like, "Let's shake, what we doing? Let's do it." Tony Yayo, seated comfortably behind him, reportedly yelled, "Suck my dick," at JaRule, a taunt that would later become infamous when 50 Cent referenced it. Then came the moment that defined the entire incident and went viral across every social media platform. JaRule grabbed a pillow and threw it at Tony Yayo, the soft projectile knocking Yayo's hat clean off his head. A male flight attendant quickly intervened, warning that "it's going down," meaning serious federal consequences were about to unfold since any altercation on an airplane falls under federal jurisdiction. The crew temporarily removed both JaRule and Tony Yayo from the plane for de-escalation talks, but witnesses told TMZ that Ja was clearly the aggressor, yelling profanities and actively trying to provoke a physical fight. Due to passenger safety concerns and the fact that multiple travelers reported feeling unsafe, Delta Airlines permanently removed JaRule from the flight and rebooked him on a later departure while Tony Yayo and Uncle Murda calmly returned to their seats. Uncle Murda couldn't resist adding insult to injury, posting gleefully on Instagram that Ja got taken off the plane while Yayo took his seat. The video spread like wildfire, racking up millions of views within hours. But what truly shocked the hip-hop world wasn't just the plane incident itself. It was what happened when 50 Cent saw the footage. On February 9th, 50 Cent reposted Uncle Murda's video to his 38 million Instagram followers with a caption dripping with mockery. He was by himself, so he had to make a scene so they could remove his scary ass. "Lol," Yayo said. "Suck my dick," the steward said. "It's going down." Oh. But 50 wasn't finished. He followed up by sharing an AI-generated video showing an animated version of himself bursting into hysterical laughter while repeatedly echoing Tony Yayo's taunt. The technological twist made the mockery feel modern and inescapable, proving that 50 had mastered every available platform for psychological warfare. The post exploded across social media, turning what could have been a forgotten airplane squabble into an international embarrassment for JaRule. To understand why this plane incident represents so much more than a petty confrontation between aging rappers, we need to go back to where it all began, because this wasn't random. This was the latest chapter in one of hip-hop's most brutal and enduring feuds, a war that has lasted over 25 years and left a trail of violence, destroyed careers, and unhealed wounds, a war that 50 Cent has publicly stated will only end one way. The story begins in the gritty streets of Queens, New York, in 1999. Where both JaRule and 50 Cent were emerging from similar underground hip-hop scenes, navigating the same dangerous territories but heading toward a collision that would define both their careers. JaRule was already ascending with Murder Incorporated Records, his debut album Veni Vedi Vecchi going platinum, While 50 Cent was still an unsigned rapper hustling mixtapes and desperately trying to break through in the brutal New York hip-hop landscape. The spark that ignited this inferno was a chain robbery. According to 50 Cent's version, his associate robbed JaRule at gunpoint during a video shoot, stealing his chain. When JaRule spotted 50 Cent with the robber at a club later, he grew suspicious and hostile, believing 50 was directly involved. But JaRule tells a completely different story. In his 2014 memoir Unruly, Ja claimed the chain was quickly recovered by Kenneth Supreme McGriff, a notorious drug lord with deep ties to Murder Incorporated, and that the real issue was 50 Cent feeling snubbed during the video shoot for Murder for Life, a track featuring JaRule alongside Jay-Z and DMX. According to Ja, 50 felt overlooked and disrespected as JaRule received star treatment from the director. This perceived disrespect led to 50 Cent's first musical attack, the track Life's on the Line, from his shelved album Power of the Dollar. The song mocked JaRule's signature murder chants and subtly referenced the robbery incident, with an unreleased version directly naming JaRule and even showing 50 wearing the stolen chain in the video. The track peaked at number 37 on Billboard's Hot Rap Singles chart, but its impact went far beyond the numbers because it marked the beginning of a very public war. The verbal shots quickly escalated into physical violence that nearly proved fatal. In fall 1999, during overlapping performance bookings in Atlanta, an argument between the two rappers exploded into an all-out brawl outside a hotel. Accounts differ wildly depending on who you ask. 50 Cent claimed he threw the first punch after sensing a threat from JaRule's baseball bat, while JaRule insisted that 50 fled after being beaten down. Chains were snatched during the chaos, and JaRule appeared publicly the next day sporting a visible black eye, a humiliation that only deepened the animosity between them. But the violence was far from over. In March 2000, at New York's legendary Hit Factory recording studios, JaRule and his Murder Incorporated crew ambushed 50 Cent in what can only be described as a premeditated attack. JaRule struck him with a crutch while his associate Black Child stabbed 50 in the back, leaving him bleeding and needing 3 stitches. Arrests followed, but remarkably no convictions came from the incident. However, the NYPD issued an order of protection against JaRule and Irv Gotti on 50 Cent's behalf, standard procedure, but later weaponized by Murder Incorporated to label 50 a snitch, a devastating accusation in hip-hop culture. Then came the moment that nearly ended everything and changed 50 Cent forever. On May 24, 2000, 50 Cent was shot 9 times outside his grandmother's house in an ambush that left him fighting for his life in a hospital for 5 days. The attack was allegedly ordered by Supreme McGriff over 50's track Ghetto Churan, which exposed the Supreme Team drug operation in explicit detail, something many viewed as street snitching. The shooter, Daryl Hummelbaum, was killed just weeks later in what many believe was retaliation. 50 survived against all odds, but the bullets left him with a permanently altered voice, a scarred face, and an even deeper grudge against everyone connected to Murder Incorporated, especially JaRule. As 50 Cent recovered and rebuilt his career, something remarkable happened. He didn't retreat into obscurity or fear. Instead, he signed with Eminem's Shady Records and Dr. Dre's Aftermath Entertainment in 2002. Gaining 2 of hip-hop's most powerful allies and turning his personal vendetta into an all-out industry war. This alliance proved devastating for JaRule and Murder Incorporated, because 50 now had the platform, resources, and credibility to turn his street beef into chart-dominating warfare. The musical assault began with mixtapes where 50 would remix JaRule's own beats, replacing Ja's melodic hooks with hardcore gangster lyrics, effectively mocking his softer image while stealing his sound. Then came Wanksta in August 2002 from the mixtape No Mercy, No Fear, a track that peaked at number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100 and painted JaRule as the ultimate fake gangster. The song became a cultural phenomenon with fans repeating its mocking lyrics everywhere Ja went, effectively turning him into a punchline. But 50 wasn't done. Tracks like I Smell Pussy, directly named JaRule, Irv Gotti, and other Murder Incorporated members, turning the feud into entertainment that sold millions. When 50's debut album Get Rich or Die Tryin' dropped in February 2003, it debuted at number 1, selling 872,000 copies in its first week. The album featured Back Down, a brutal diss track that questioned Ja's authenticity with lines mocking him as soft in the middle like a Pop-Tart. The commercial success was undeniable proof that 50 had won the public support decisively. JaRule attempted to fight back. In April 2003 he released Loose Change, targeting not just 50 Cent but also Eminem, going so far as to mention Eminem's daughter Haley, a line that crossed every unwritten rule in hip-hop and drew massive backlash. 50, Eminem, and Busta Rhymes responded with Hail Mary, brutally mocking JaRule's obsession with trying to emulate Tupac. Ja fired back with Guess Who Shot Ya? But by then the damage was done. The hip-hop world had chosen sides, and G-Unit was winning overwhelmingly. The real knockout blow came from an unexpected direction: the federal government. In January 2003, the FBI raided Murder Incorporated offices investigating money laundering connections to Supreme McGriff. Prosecutors used 50 Cent's Ghetto Churan lyrics as evidence of the criminal ties. Assets were frozen while Irv Gotti fought the charges in court. Though Gotti was eventually acquitted in 2005, the damage to Murder Incorporated was catastrophic and irreversible. The label was forced to rebrand as The Incorporated and lost its commercial momentum completely. JaRule's album Blood in My Eye, released in November 2003 and entirely dedicated to the feud, sold only 468,000 copies, a stunning decline from his previous multi-platinum successes. The contrast was stark and undeniable. While 50 Cent was ascending to become one of hip-hop's biggest stars with over 12 million albums sold, JaRule's career was in free fall. His label was under federal investigation, and his street credibility was shattered. A late 2003 peace summit brokered by Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan failed publicly when 50 Cent refused to acknowledge it, making it crystal clear he had absolutely no interest in reconciliation or forgiveness. By the mid-2000s, the war seemed over with a clear victor. JaRule later faced tax evasion charges and a prison stint in 2011, which 50 naturally mocked relentlessly on social media, posting jokes about Ja needing to find work as a bike messenger after his release. In September 2013, JaRule publicly admitted defeat during a Hot 97 interview, crediting the federal investigation and 50's powerful alliances with Eminem and Dr. Dre for his loss. Most people assumed the beef had finally reached its conclusion, but they were wrong. Dead wrong. As social media platforms exploded in popularity during the 2010s, 50 Cent adapted his warfare tactics, transforming from street fighter and diss track creator to internet troll king. His massive Instagram following gave him an unprecedented platform to continue humiliating JaRule, turning every misfortune into viral content that reached audiences worldwide. This new chapter of pettiness proved 50 had no intention of ever letting the beef die, regardless of how much time passed or how much damage had already been inflicted. The trolling reached legendary status in November 2018 when 50 Cent spent $3,000 purchasing 200 front-row tickets to a JaRule concert in Arlington, Texas, using Groupon, where tickets were listed for just $15 each. His plan was to leave every seat empty to humiliate Ja in front of whatever small crowd showed up. 50 posted an Instagram photo of the vacant seats with the caption, "What a show! I mean, just great." The image went instantly viral, becoming one of the most talked about moments in hip-hop pettiness history. JaRule denied the incident ever happened and later offered a $10,000 bounty for anyone who could prove 50 actually bought those tickets, but 50 reaffirmed the story in multiple interviews, keeping the embarrassing narrative alive. The mockery intensified during the 2017 to 2019 fallout from JaRule's involvement in the disastrous Fyre Festival. 50 Cent flooded Instagram with memes ridiculing the event's spectacular failure, posting that JaRule was the biggest joke in hip-hop and capitalizing on every embarrassing detail that emerged from the fraudulent luxury festival that left attendees stranded in the Bahamas. The relentless social media assault continued through shared flights in 2013 and 2023, where 50 posted mocking photos each time they coincidentally ended up on the same plane, making Ja visibly uncomfortable without any direct confrontation but ensuring the psychological warfare never stopped. But 2025 brought a new level of intensity. After Irv Gotti's death in February, 50 Cent posted indifferently that he wanted him to see his new shows, showing no respect for the deceased Murder Incorporated co-founder. This prompted JaRule to call him Boo Boo the Fool on The Breakfast Club. In November, during an appearance on the 7:00 p.m. in Brooklyn podcast, JaRule reflected that their beef had messed up New York hip-hop, dividing artists and damaging the culture much like the Biggie-Tupac feud had done to the West Coast. He argued he was the better rapper with more timeless records, though streaming data heavily favored 50 Cent with billions more plays. Then in December 2025, amid 50 Cent's Netflix documentary series about Sean Diddy Combs, The Reckoning, JaRule went nuclear with accusations that 50 was no different from Puffy. He called 50 a rat, a snitch, and a cancer to the culture, detailing 50's 2013 domestic violence plea deal involving ex-girlfriend Daphne Joy and referencing 2024 abuse allegations that were later dropped after 50 filed a defamation suit. JaRule announced plans for a counter-documentary exposing what he claimed was 50's pattern of abuse and violence against women. Which brings us back to that plane on February 8, 2026. JaRule attempted to fight back through social media after the incident, posting on Twitter that he pressed those punks by himself on a plane and threw the pillow at Yayo's head because he was soft and knocked his hat off. He tagged 50 Cent, Tony Yayo, and Uncle Murda directly, calling the whole team weak. He also shared the TMZ witness account labeling him the aggressor, laughing it off with emojis and trying to reframe the narrative as him courageously standing his ground alone against multiple opponents. But here's what makes this entire situation so chilling. Public reaction was deeply divided, with some praising JaRule for courage while others mocked the absurdity of men in their 50s beefing on an airplane. Media outlets treated it as entertainment, but everyone missed the real story. When you step back and look at the full scope of this 25-year war, a disturbing pattern emerges. From the 1999 chain robbery to the stabbing, from the 9 gunshots that nearly killed 50 Cent to the federal investigation that destroyed Murder Incorporated, from the concert ticket buyout to the Fyre Festival mockery to this plane incident, every chapter has revolved around 50 Cent ensuring JaRule never recovers his former glory, never regains his reputation, and never escapes the shadow of their feud. And with 50's massive platform, business empire spanning television production with the Power franchise and Spirits brands, combined with his refusal to move on, JaRule remains trapped in a nightmare he cannot escape even at 50 years old. What do you think about this beef? Do you think they're doing too much at this point? Let me know in the comments section. Click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this. See you in the next one.